I'm so excited to bring you some wonderful news. I'm pregnant! I am beyond excited to talk about my pregnancy with you. I have definitely been holding on to this for a while, although some of you had an idea that I could be pregnant. And I just want to share my journey with you. I posted this photo on Instagram and so many beautiful comments from you ladies. It meant the world to me, and I thank you for blessing me and my pregnancy. Also, thank you so much to every single person who has supported my fragrance line called Fine Forever. This is a luxury fragrance that smells super sensual, feminine, mysterious, and so many of you have purchased the fragrance, love the fragrance, and I am so grateful for your support. What makes this particular fragrance so beautiful is that it reminds you of the promises of God. So not only does it smell absolutely incredible, not only are you supporting me and the kingdom of God, but you're wearing something that reminds you every day of the promises of God. And that is so important in terms of what I'm talking about today. And this pregnancy was directly a result of the promises of God. And I leaned on those promises, I prayed those promises, had faith in them, and they came to fruition. All right, so why don't you go ahead and sit back, relax, and let's talk about this. So I want to kind of backtrack a little bit and walk you through what led us up to this moment. In June of 2019, I got engaged. My fiance and I at the time got engaged in Paris. I will link the video below. It was the best day of my life. He took me on a hot air balloon. It overlooked Paris, and he proposed to me in the hot air balloon. It was the most beautiful day of my life. It was just absolutely perfect. And that led to, wedding planning and all the things that come after an engagement. My wedding was set to be held in October of 2020. But of course, due to the COVID pandemic, we weren't able to have our ceremony in October. So we ended up pushing our ceremony to May of 2021. I had a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bridal shower that my mom threw for me, and it was a really cute tea party theme. It was a really nice, classy event. May of 2021, I got married to my husband, and it was a beautiful ceremony. Absolutely perfect in every way. Everyone had an amazing time. It was so much fun. The presence of God was there. I mean, it just felt ethereal. It didn't even feel real. It was just such a wonderful, blessed experience. Now, I will mention that before I went on my honeymoon, I had fasted and prayed to get pregnant during my honeymoon. I had always dreamed of getting pregnant during my honeymoon. I don't have a special reason to say that. I just always wanted that. One of my very good friends and mentor, her name is Odie. She's helped me a lot with just transitioning in life from being a young woman and being a wife. She's always reached for the stars, and I love that about her. So she told me that before her honeymoon, she had prayed and asked God to get pregnant. And this was years ago, mind you, but I always remember that. And I'm like, that sounds so amazing. Who does that actually happen to? That sounds perfect, right? When I was younger, I remember asking my mom, what if I can't have kids? And she's like, oh, don't worry, you'll have kids. There's no reason why you wouldn't be able to have kids. And I thought, well, how do you know? Why are you saying that with so much confidence? There are plenty of people who aren't able to conceive. It's a real problem. I would have just liked to know ahead of time how my body was functioning, what my chances were of having children, if there were any obstacles in the way that I needed to address. Just be prepared, be proactive. And I didn't have any way of doing that. And that's why I want to introduce you to the brand Modern Fertility. Modern Fertility is a hormone test that you can take at home so that you can see how many eggs you have in your reserve. It's the same test that you would take if you went to a fertility clinic, but at a fraction of a cost. It is alarming how many women struggle to get pregnant. It's about 1 in 6 women. And it's important to know how many eggs you have in your reserve. And this makes it so easy. You'll get a personal fertility team that can answer your questions and help you with your unique case in figuring out where you stand. You'll receive a box that has a unique code for you, and inside it'll have all the materials that you can use to collect your samples, and then it has an envelope here for you to send it back, and then you'll get your results. And you will have access to a personal dashboard online that has all of your results with your reserve count, with information about PCOS and any reproductive issues like thyroids that you may be dealing with, and a prospective reproduction timeline. You'll also get a raw printout that you can share with your doctor and just be able to have conversations with the people that you love. And because this is something that's just so sensitive, it's wonderful to be able to talk to other women who are experiencing this. So with Modern Fertility, you will have access to a community of other people who are going through this same sort of journey and be able to connect with them and other experts. This hormone test is wonderful for any of you ladies between the ages of 21 to 44 who want to conceive within the next 5 years, or if you want to conceive right now, or if you're someone who's considering freezing your eggs or doing the IVF treatments or just having more children. Although I didn't have the opportunity to take this test before getting pregnant, this is exactly the thing that I would have wanted to be able to be proactive about my reproductive health and know what I was working with so that I could take away some of that anxiety and the thoughts that were coming to mind about what my body was really working with. Modern Fertility has been so generous to offer an exclusive discount to all of my viewers. So if you click the link below, you'll be able to receive $20 off of your hormone test. Thank you so much, Modern Fertility, for sponsoring this video and allowing women to be more proactive about their reproductive health. Before going on the honeymoon, I had it in my heart that I really wanted to conceive during the honeymoon. I just felt that it would be a blessing. And I truly also wanted to see how far my faith would stretch in terms of whether or not I would believe the Lord would do this for me. And it was something I could trace. Now, I am one of those people who has had a very sort of like pessimistic attitude growing up. I always kind of felt like things were for other people, that certain things were never gonna happen for me. I would applaud the joys of other people, but I would think like, when am I ever gonna experience this? So I knew that in this particular area of my life, I had to really lean on God and trust Him. I'm one of those women who's always known since I was a child that I wanted to be a mother. I love the idea of just nurturing and pouring my knowledge and my love into another person and watching them grow. So when I had the thought that I really wanted to get pregnant during my honeymoon, I fasted and I prayed. I wanted it to be an intimate conversation between God and I about this very special, precious desire that I had that I knew I needed His help with, because I wanted to really have that spiritual connection with God and know that it came about because He wanted it. I prayed that if it wasn't His will, don't let it happen. But this is what I would really, really want. And the Lord knows. He is aware of the desires that you have in your heart because He put them there. And He has every intention on giving you the things that you long for. And if you have faith in Him and truly believe that it's gonna happen, He will surprise you. He will show you how faithful He is to His word. So I prayed. And I fasted, and I also prayed with my friend Odie. And interestingly enough, I didn't actually have a date in mind for the honeymoon. We had our wedding and we had family staying with us. We had a lot going on during that time. His brother got married, and we didn't have like a set date yet for the honeymoon. We knew that we wanted to go to the Maldives, which is my dream vacation spot, but we had no idea like when it was actually gonna happen in terms of the date. So there was no way for me to sort of like maneuver and plan around my ovulation. In addition to that, I took some medicine before my wedding because I knew that I was gonna be on my menstrual cycle and I did not want to be in a white dress on my period and just deal with all of that during my wedding day. So before the wedding ceremony, I went to my doctor and I told her, this is what's going on with me. Can you help me out? And she gave me a pill to take that prolongs your cycle. And so I took that during my wedding, and it did have some side effects. My stomach got like super bloated, and I definitely didn't feel the best because of the hormones that were in that particular pill, but it was worth it. Now, after taking that pill, it did throw off my cycle drastically. So when I say I had no idea when I was going to get my next period, I truly did not know, because it could have come way earlier or way later because of those hormones I took during my wedding. So one day my husband tells me, oh, I booked the honeymoon. And I'm like, okay, great. When is it? And he's like, it's in 2 weeks. So I'm like, Lord, please, please, please do not let me be on my period during the honeymoon. And God is so amazing. My period came a week earlier than it was supposed to. And I was actually ovulating during my honeymoon, which was a huge surprise to me. And I was able to conceive. I remember being on the island, this gorgeous place that I just can't even tell you how beautiful it was. Our hotel was in the water, so we were literally on the ocean, and I felt so close to God. I felt so close to my husband. There was nothing at all to interrupt my peace, and I even brought my Bible with me. I have this huge, thick, chunky Bible that I brought with me. I'm like, I am bringing my Bible with me because I'm going to be spending time with God in front of the ocean every single day and worshiping and praising Him. Good morning. As you can see, it's so windy out here. Everything is blowing. We actually have a photo shoot this morning that we're supposed to have in our room. We're supposed to have breakfast on the water in the pool in our villa, and a photo shoot on the island that's right over there. But because of this wind, things have gotten a little shaky. It's been actually raining this morning. So we are just praying for the grace of God to be upon us, for us to have a great photo shoot despite the weather, for everything to calm down and make it happen. And God always comes through. In Jesus' name, He always comes through. So I just told Josh. Hey babe, how do you feel about finding out that I'm pregnant?
I feel amazing.
That is so great. I'm so excited. And this is going to be an amazing journey. Hey guys, so we are headed out to an art show, and this is my outfit of the night. I will also mention, just because it's such a beautiful testimony, that when I was praying to get pregnant, I prayed to be pregnant with a boy. I have always wanted to have a son. So when I was praying, I said, Lord, please allow me to get pregnant during my honeymoon and allow me to be pregnant with a boy. This for me was the biggest test of my faith, and God showed up. And He had been watching me. He knew that I wanted this. I had been faithful in the things that He's been asking me to do, that I had been mothering you ladies for all this time and pouring my love and my nurture into you and watching you grow and thrive and truly loving you. And I believe that He took all of those things as righteousness in my life and blessed me with the one thing I have always wanted. And I just knew it was gonna be a boy. So as I was telling my friends this, some of them were like, no, it could be a girl. You never know, this and that. And I'm like, okay, you can say what you want to say. I'm standing on what I want, what I believe, what I ask God for. Because Luke 1:45 says, blessed is she who has believed that the Lord will fulfill his promises to her. And I stand on that scripture. So every time I hit like a milestone in my pregnancy journey, I would bring home this cake and it would say, it's a boy. And my husband would be like, yeah, it is a boy. You know, he wanted to have a boy too. And of course, when we went to do the sonogram for the official sex of the baby, we found out. So you made your guesses. Yes. Finally find out if we're having a boy or a girl. Ready?
Set. Go.
It is indeed a boy. So we are expecting a little boy very soon. Right now I'm 32 weeks pregnant, so we're almost there. I'm so excited. Now I do want to mention that there have been ups and downs in this pregnancy. Don't think it's just been this blissful, smooth sailing. No, it has not been. It started off pretty good, but in my second trimester, I ended up getting really sick, and it wasn't due to the baby. It was due to me.
Hi, loves. So how I look right now is how I feel. That pain that I was describing yesterday got so bad. It got increasingly bad. It's like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's not like menstrual cramps. It was hurting so bad, you guys. Like, I couldn't sleep the whole night. And every time I'd move, I felt like it got more.
I ended up having a kidney stone, and it was the most painful thing I have ever been through. I was so afraid that it would affect the baby because I was in debilitating pain. I can't even get into how horrible this was. I mean, I was in the ER. I was literally on the floor in the bathroom in the ER. That's how serious this was. Like, in the middle of COVID, I'm on the floor in a hospital bathroom because I can't get up. I'm crying, I'm praying to God and just asking him to help me, and he did. He helped me. It was a really hard time for my husband and I, but we were able to get through it with God's help. And I do also have some other medical things that came up that I was not aware of. Again, it's so important to know what's going on with your body before you get pregnant so you can be proactive. But I ended up having fibroids and other things like that, which did cause me a ton of pain to the point where I could not go into work anymore, which the Lord used for his good as well, because I couldn't go into work. And so what does that give me? More time to be able to do videos and content for you, which is where he ultimately wants me. So during this time, I've been able to do my book club, which I'm so happy for you ladies who have joined me every Sunday, where I go live and I talk about women who pray and all the wonderful things that come out of that. So I've been able to do that and just produce more video content and more podcasts. There is no way I could have done this if I was working. So I'm so grateful to God for just always listening to me, hearing me, loving me, and blessing me with these things that may seem absolutely horrific in the moment, because they were, but he always uses it for the good of those who love him and who are called according to his purpose. And I stand strong in that. There's so many times the devil was in my ear, like, you're gonna lose a baby, you're gonna lose a baby. And for nothing, like, just because I've heard about so many people going through this, it was just in my mind. Even though God told me that he was gonna give me this baby, he gave me the baby, and I was still having doubts. That is how the devil is. And I just could not live like that anymore. I just couldn't. Everything I've been telling you ladies, everything that I believe in, everything that I spend my time in my devotions reading needed to actually come to life. Like, I needed to put all of those things into practice. And I did. And since then, the pregnancy really has been a blessing. And I'm so excited to have this little boy I can pour other information into, maybe not femininity, but be able to give him the love that I've been holding on to for so long. And I'm so thankful to you ladies for all of your support, all of your blessings. So many of you have blessed me with your words. I get so many messages from you and emails just telling me how much my videos have changed your life and blessing my life. And I am so thankful for all of your positive words. They mean so much to me, and God hears you too. So this is just more of a testimony because truly I do like to keep things like this very private. And I know some of you already kind of knew just by looking at me that I was probably pregnant, but I appreciate everyone who decided not to say anything about that because I did think it was a little rude for people to be asking. Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. I thought it was rude. So for those of you who had the grace not to say anything, even though you probably knew, thank you. And for everyone who has just supported everything that I do, thank you so much. I am so happy that you get to witness all of the blessings that God really does do in the lives of those who trust him. And that is why I will always talk about God in my videos, because you need to know that your life is in his hands, that he loves you so much, and he is going to help you and get you through everything you are dealing with and bless you in ways that you could never ever imagine.
Being 26 years old, this is the sort of time where people are sort of getting married. You start to see a lot of people having children and getting engaged and just sort of moving into another stage of their life. And for me, I mean, I'm not engaged, I'm not married or anything like that. When I was in high school, like maybe in 11th grade, I thought that by 24, I would be engaged. By 26, I'd definitely be married. By 28, I'd have my first child. So, I mean, if we look at that timeline, I am significantly behind. And I truly do want those things, but I definitely want those things with the right person. My recommendation, if you are religious, is to pray about it. Ask God to be able to suppress that hunger for a relationship and put you in positions to be able to meet somebody.
In Jeremiah 29:11, he says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. All of God's plans for you are good." And that's exactly what 29:11, the fragrance, stands on. That promise that the Lord is always with you, that he has plans for your life, and they are all good. So with that, I would love your support in purchasing 29:11 and remembering God's promise for you. And for those of you who have been so generous and have wanted to know if I have a registry, I do have a registry. If you are inclined and want to purchase something for the baby, then I will leave a link below and you can definitely bless us with purchasing an item on the registry. I am grateful for every single thing, but most of all, your support. Thank you for everyone who leaves beautiful comments on my channel, for those of you who share with me the testimonies and all the things that have changed in your life since watching my content, for those of you who share my videos and my podcasts. I love you so much and I'm so thankful that you're here. Make sure to follow me at A Feminine Impression on my Instagram page and my personal page at Dr. Michelle Daff. And just a reminder, I do have a podcast. I know some of you were not aware that I have a podcast. It's called A Feminine Impression and it's available on all podcast platforms. So you can go there and listen to all the things that I talk about here on my channel without all of the visual distractions, and it'll hopefully bless you in your life. I have been documenting my pregnancy. I actually even did a little bit of Vlogmas. So I do have some vlogs to post on my vlog channel. If you haven't followed that channel, you can do that by clicking the link below or following me at Michelle My Belle. I love you all and I will see you in the next video. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Mwah. Bye-bye.
quick little devotion before I get my day going. It's starting to rain right when I walked outside, so that's exciting. The air feels so good. It's so beautiful to wake up and do a devotion right in front of the water. Not only does it remind you of God's presence and his omniscience and his splendor. Someone asked me, like, could you ever have imagined you'd be experiencing a life like this and a love like this? I'm just like, no, I cannot. I've always known and loved God, and I've always known that God would show up for me, and I knew how much God loved me. Even though I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do, I knew how much he loved me, and I knew that he would show me his love, but I never imagined him showing me so much of his love through Joshua, through my husband, through my love. I know so many people get really caught up in their pain, especially through love, which, as you all know, I have experienced, and seeing the other side of it has brought so much inspiration to so many women, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful that God has shined his light through me to be able to encourage every single woman to know that he sees, he hears you, he cares, he loves you, he is here for you, and he will absolutely exceed your expectations. And blessed is she who has believed that the Lord will fulfill his promises to her.